Hey, Storymakers. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited for you guys to join me because I have a new friend and she's going to be your friend too. Super pumped up. We have Elisa here from Mama Sing My Song. And welcome, Elisa. Welcome to Storymaker Land and all that is Storymakers. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much. This is really, really cool. And I'm just really excited to introduce what we do to your audience. This is great.
Awesome. Well, you know what is so fun? I can see this. I know if you're listening in your car or whatever, you can't see this, but you can visualize this. Elisa is sitting in front of lots and lots of beautiful, I don't want to even say that they're just toys because it feel like more than that. But we love toys, we love candy, and you have an incredible little office space. So if you can tune in on the blog, you'll want to take a peek at that. So Elisa, tell us a little bit about Mama Sing My Song and why are there so many plushies behind you?
Yeah. So we write custom songs for kids, and these songs are ones that the parents kind of help us write. They answer a questionnaire and tell us all about their child. They tell us what they look like, what their favorite foods are, what their favorite activities are, and then some hopes and dreams and prayers that they have for the child. And then we write the song to some beautiful lullaby type things, acoustic folk. Like we have a song like a tune that's called Reggae Beats. We have like a bunch of different tune samples
vibes. Yeah.
Try to get it all in there.
So if you've got like a little urban hip hop kid like I do, Henry, or if you have a more anxious child that needs a little soothing, you can make a pick. Yeah.
It's for everybody. Yeah. But then we put those songs inside of these huggable stuffed animals so that kids can take them anywhere they go, like either to grandma's house, or if the family, has two different households, they can go back and forth. But most importantly, they just get to have their song and this message of truth with them all the time.
That's so wonderful. Well, I am really excited to have you today. But before we get too far and get the party started, we are so curious about every guest and their story. And so is this something that you imagined for yourself as a child? Like, I'm going to create stuffies. How did you land where you are?
I could talk about this all day. It is such a beautiful story to me. But anyway, so I started out as a violinist. I started out, I was raised in church. I felt called to music when I was 15. I started playing violin when I was 11. But then when I was 15, I started having my gift started coming alive. And people started noticing. So they would invite me to play, just for church worship bands and stuff. But I never had any music. I would just play by ear. And one lady came up to me afterwards and she was crying, like after service. And she was like, Elisa, you played my prayer. Mm-hmm. And I, being 15, I was just kind of like, oh, that's amazing. I'm being used by God. This is what I'm supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. Little did I know that, fast forward 20 years later, now I am singing songs for kids. And songs that I could have used when I was a child. Mm. So that's kind of where it comes full circle for me. So I was raised in a family with 7 kids, and I have so much love and grace for my parents because we have 3 kids, and that's a handful. And so now I understand some more of my feelings growing up. I felt like I was on my own a lot. I was just the second oldest, but I was also a lot, I would say. I have ADHD, so I was one of those kids I was more bouncy than my siblings were. My siblings are all very smart and just intellectual and beautiful humans. And I just kind of was like, I was always the one that was trying to catch up or just beating to her own drum, just kind of surviving, but going along with the whole crew.
You had a creative thread.
Yeah. Yes. And so I think just thinking that, oh, I'm on my own, it wasn't a bad thing, but I would find myself lonely a lot, and I would find myself with questions that I didn't know the answers to and didn't have anyone that I felt safe enough to ask, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so it kind of like warped my inner voice, my
Mm,
theology about God. It changed a lot. And I don't know what the term is for this, but I felt like my brain kind of created these rivers and these paths of how to think.
mm,
And since kind of coming out on the other side now, I've had to like make new rivers of thoughts and beliefs and like how I think about myself, how I speak about myself, just to like get out of, I don't want to say brainwash, but it's just like get out of the wrong way of thinking, just
mm.
like the harmful way
Yeah.
of thinking. And
We talk a lot about the reconfiguration of the imagination here in
oh, wow.
Storymaker World. And I think that for so many of us, we need, especially as grown-ups, we need our minds reconfigured over and over again. And I think what you all are doing is so special because you're right, like kids are often feel alone and afraid when they're small. And it's hard to articulate or identify what those feelings really mean and how to even like get them out
Yeah.
and sort of work them through. And so, what we're trying to do here at Storymakers, and it sounds like what you guys are up to too, is like we want our kids to imagine that God is running towards them over and over and over again all the time. And especially in those moments when we're alone. And you guys are creating something so special because it's tactile, something kids can hold on to. They
Yeah.
may not be able to articulate it. And music is so powerful. I'm just so delighted about all the things that you guys are doing. It's so special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fast forward, you
Fast
played the
forward.
violin.
Yeah.
So exciting, a strong skill set. And then you are now you acquired a business. I mean,
Yeah.
this is something that you and your husband have just launched into and are getting
Yeah.
getting the world started there. Yeah.
Yeah, let me go back just a couple years and say that when I started writing songs, like with my voice, with lyrics, I wrote them for myself because
Mm,
I think as a violinist, and then like I said, growing up in the big family, I wasn't encouraged to have a voice. And so finally with my own music, I started writing songs like encouraging ones that I could listen to, that I would feel better and feel more important and seen. And so then when I started writing for Mama Sing My Song a couple years later, which was just last year actually, it was amazing because I got to write these songs for these children that I had no idea who they were, but I knew they all had stories and I knew that their parents wanted them, or their guardians, wanted them to be shown love and
mm.
wanted them to be known. And it's really special because every child song is different. People ask us all the time, like, oh, you can just use AI. And I'm like, well, we could try, but I promise it will not be any bit closer to what we actually, like the magic we create here. Um, there's the phrase like, oh, it's like living rent free in your head.
Yeah.
Um, I have lyrics that are in my head all the time that either I've written or my songwriters have written. Like that just live there because it's so special and so sweet and so meaningful. Like I wrote one the other day, and in the chorus it says, "You don't have to be the best for us to love who you are." And those are written for kids that, need a boost of self-confidence or a reminder like, don't try so hard. You don't have to try so hard. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even if you fail, even if you fall, even if the night is dark, or even if the day is sunny, like, you will still be loved no matter what, wherever you are.
Well, and I'll say too, like just the creative act of um, praying and making for kids and kids. I mean, we send things to kids that we'll never know,
Yeah.
but we just imagine like the impact of what it will be. And it's God's story, such a long story, right? So these lyrics, these melodies will come back to them as they grow older, well into their adulthood. We love to talk about this book, Your Brain on Art. It's a really great book. And they
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about the resiliency of the mind, but also how songs and psalms come back to people when they've had experienced brain damage,
Mm.
dementia, or all of those things. But they seem to continue to be a source of comfort. And so Well, after the elementary school age, I'm sure that these songs are going to come back to these kids.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's been said many times and proven over the years that music is like the best way to learn. This is one of those things where, like, a child can learn a melody and maybe they don't even talk yet. Maybe they're still infants and little babies, but they're learning, like, through melody and through song and through our voices, that this is what's important. And then it's getting ingrained in their minds, so.
Well, and it's so special. The other thing is that so many of us grown-ups are, our desire and hope is that our kids will know that they're creators for them. And sometimes we feel like, oh, it's where do I even begin, or how do I articulate that? And I think that this is a fantastic avenue, grown-ups. If you are struggling or wondering, like, how do I even get started? This is an incredible way to, you know, to tuck the word of God in their hearts through these melodies. And you didn't have to, do a Bible study. You just handed them the cutest plushie ever and the best little song ever. I just love
Yeah.
that so much. So what do you guys have cooking up in this next year, 2025? I'm sure that your creativity and your imagination is on fire.
It's been really fun taking over the company. We never expected, first of all, to ever take over Mama Sing My Song. When I became a writer for the company, it was a dream come true to just get paid to do music, and now all of a sudden we're thrown into this business world that we're trying to, wrangle and figure out. But I am excited. So our goal, of course, is to get more songs to more kids, because we really believe that each one of these songs will really change a life and change a legacy. And so we're actually looking to offer Spanish songs next year.
Ooh, I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah,
Yay!
all the time we get asked if we do it in, French or German. And I'm like, we don't do it in those languages yet. But I've been in contact with a couple Latino communities with singer-songwriters, and we're just going to, train them on up and teach them the ways of Mama Sing My Song and how to write beautiful kids songs. And then we're also exploring retail. Like right now we're e-commerce, meaning we just sell our songs online. So we're trying to figure out how to sell the stuffed animals in the stores, and then people can go on our website and get started on their song. So I feel like that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I think that the whole entrepreneurial space requires so much faith and just hope that you'll be carried in all of these new spaces. So we definitely relate to taking those steps forward. Yeah. So Elisa, one thing that we love to chat about and think about too is, God's story is such a long story, and I know you have 3 kids of your own. What do you sort of hope that they like experience and take away when they're, cuddling with one of those cute stuffed animals behind you?
Oh man. Well, my son, he's 8 now, and he has an a cappella song that I wrote in his stuffed animal. And it's incredible because every night we put him to bed and then we close the door and we hear his song playing. And so he, like, what's happening behind the door is ministry, is like his heart is being formed and his mind is learning, like, my mom's voice right now, because I sang it for him. She loves me. I'm safe. I am valued. I am seen. And I don't know, it gives me a peace of mind knowing that I will never be enough for him, but I'm doing as much as I can doing it. And then for one of my daughters, she's an artist. She's a painter. I have paintings all around this room. And in her song, I talk about how she's going to just blossom and bloom, and her art will touch people, whether her own heart or others' hearts, So that would
That's
be
so
my answer.
awesome. Well, I think we talk a lot about being curious with your kids. And I think just even what the questions that you're asking are questions that we oftentimes just don't have a beat to think about, like, who are they, what are they, like, if you have to articulate, to mama, sing your song about your kid, I think it's that even of itself, even in the process, is such a gift, just to think like, oh, like, who are they, like, what are they most anxious about, or what are they most excited about, or what do I hope that they really take away.
Yeah.
We're always talking about taking inventory and just assessing and confessing, like, where are we as a family, like, what are they most anxious about, or what are they doing, where are they really thriving. And so I think that in of itself is just even, it's just worth it, just taking that minute to be able to do that. So
Oh,
awesome. I
yeah.
love that part of it.
Yeah. I think as parents, anyone who, places an order with us, like they are having to think about that. And they come because they're like, oh, I want a song for my kid. But then what they're really doing is like, oh my gosh, what do I want to pray over my kid? What do I hope for my kid? What does my kid need to know right now? Or like, what do they what is their bent? Like, what are, like if I was really low on confidence, I would want to sing confidence and bravery over my child. So, yeah,
I
that's
think that's so awesome. That's such a great element to the whole thing. Well, Lisa, we know that God is the ultimate story maker, and we are story makers too. And it seems to me that God is really using your creativity and your verve in music space to get, just to spark faith and hope wherever you go. And what story or music has captivated your imagination? What took a hold of you when you're thinking about, like, yourself as a creator in this space?
oh man. Well, we talked about them earlier, but John Guerra
Oh
is
yes.
one of my his music is so inspiring because it's so different than what you would just normally listen to. And I think like he just touches on a different part of the heart, a different part of like a creative muscle. And
Mm.
I don't know, his songwriting is fabulous. I could talk about him and Valerie all day, but I love John Guerra. And if I ever need a spark, I'll usually turn on his album. So
That's so awesome. I love that. We story makers, we don't just read books, we listen to music too. So you have some good shout outs here in Storymaker Podcast to get inspired. I think it does, music does something different to our brains and just like our whole beings entirely. And so I love that. And Elisa, if you were to sort of call out maybe a story in your own experience as an entrepreneur at this point, I know it's early, but do you want to share any stories that have like really, you're like, this is why I'm doing the thing? Um,
oh
have
man.
you had any of
How
those
long do you have?
highlights?
Literally every day, the stories that come
Mm,
in. Um, Yesterday, I wrote a song for a miscarriage. I wrote a song for a
mm,
little baby that passed away. A couple days ago, I wrote a song for a little boy that is has hearing loss. He's an infant, and his family he's having surgery this Friday for like hearing implants, and they
mhm.
wanted his song to be one of the first things that he
Oh
hears.
my gosh.
And so I wrote that
That's
in a
so
song.
crazy.
I know. I was like, I'm going to change his name. So I said, baby, hear us say we love you in a million ways. So just the fact that it's like, hear us say, I don't know,
Mm.
it's so good. Um, and then, of course, we do free songs for kids in foster care. I don't know if I ever even mentioned
No.
that, but
Wait, tell us about that, because we are all about, resourcing the
yeah,
under-resourced.
so yeah, we ask for donations all the time, and then we donate a portion of our profits to our foster care program, and that, as funds come in, we get to write an a cappella song and give them a stuffed animal just for them so that they can take to whatever foster care like family they move around, and are like placed in. So that's why we got our stuffed animals so that our foster care community can bring their song wherever they go.
It's amazing. I love
Yeah.
we just, yeah, that's incredible. We just love that so much.
After our Shark Tank episode aired in January, our list exploded. So we had over 1,000 kids join our waiting list, and so right now our program is on hold. We have 800 left, and we want to get songs to all of those children. So I'm trying to plan right now how we can do like a fundraiser so that we can write 800 songs for them.
That's amazing. Well, and then you
Yeah.
can just do that directly when you shop. Like you can shop for your kids and then you can say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'd love to sponsor 1 to 800 children."
Yes.
Is that
I
possible?
mean, that would be great. You can sponsor 800 children. Yeah, we usually do like a dollar amount. So a lot of people will like tack on what they just got discounted. So right now we're running a sale, and some people will be like, "Oh, well, let's just give that money back to the foster care program." So,
That's incredible.
yeah.
We love that. That is a deep part of the Storymaker heartbeat. So it's so
Uh,
awesome. Well, thanks so much for being with us on the podcast today. It was so great to get to know you and to hear your story too. And we just know that this is going to be such a gift to kids near and far. And everyone, go over and check out Mama Sing My Song. You could support some foster friends. That would be incredible. And just know that you're investing in kids and their parents too. What a gift for parents to be assured of the promises that you're creating for themselves. So I'm
yeah.
sure it's all coming back to the grown-ups. So lots of love, friends, and we will see you next time.